the question of cost of living is addressed by various ministers. PM himself acknowledged that it is very much in the government's mind on how we can mitigate the impact of cost of living on households. And one of the most significant ways in which we have done so is to share through the growth and share package. Households have received outcomes that offset the rise, potential rise in cost of their living more than it actually costs them. So some households 3 times as well, some households up to 5 times as well. I'm very curious as to what the STT proposes to do that could help us manage the cost of living. I think as responsible members of the decision-making body, we'll be very keen to study into that very specific proposals that can really help to improve our people's lives and help them to manage the cost of living better. Because if those ideas are good, there's no reason why we wouldn't want to implement it. But if they do not have any specific proposals, then it's really perhaps misrepresenting and leading people to believe that there are easier solutions. So without hearing what specific proposals they have, I really can't comment very much more. I'd like to hear them make the specific proposals, then we can make a response.
You also remember over the years, our team is not just only in helping reduce the cost of the current situation. We have continuously been doing so at the Meet the People session. Our experience in helping them do so, our home care program, our own fundraising program, and the most recent scholarship anniversary program is a significant program that we have launched because we are concerned about what is important for our children, their children's education. We want to ensure that the kids are able to contribute through our scholarship anniversary program. And we did it through our own efforts. It is our own local program with our own resources and our network. So that's the other point. And the fact that we are doing things based on what we believe to help the people who really need it most, and it's also ensuring that we are able to continue to upgrade our residents through efforts of getting them training, employment, because helping people comes in many ways. We believe that we would like to also ensure that we have stability and long-term solutions. So these are the principles that we have been remembering continuously and will continue to do so when we have the opportunity.
Long-term solution for? Can you tell me where we can find that? We certainly want to know. Does anyone have that? He will be with the Nobel Prize in Economics.
But in terms of the issues on the ground, I know the RWG was raised at...
It's a good short-term solution.
Right.
I think it's very good that Josephine and Mayor Zain have managed to persuade the shopkeepers around this estate to agree not to raise prices for the next 6 months. Realistically, that's what you can do for now, just to watch it. There are no long-term solutions for cost of living. We have to just keep at it.
I think the key is to make sure that people continue to have the job, continue to upgrade their skills, continue to carry on wanting to learn and work hard. And the government will do its best to ensure that the economy continues to grow. Only then that people will be able to have an income and pay for some of the things that they want in life. For the government, when the government budget has surplus, then one of the things that the government always does is to share these surpluses with the people. So from time to time, we will top up their CPF, we will spend more money on their children, we will give the children more EduSave, we will improve the facilities, and basically we try to make sure that what we need to make living continue to be upgraded, that is the type of economy we have, the kind of facilities we need, and the kind of skills our people must have in order for them to earn higher wages. So that is the key. World prices will fluctuate. A lot depends on supply and demand. A lot now is affected by unexpected events, whether it is an earthquake or a flood or a fire or any other kind of disaster. So whenever some of these events occur in the production countries where we buy food, then invariably prices for these foods will go up, not just in Singapore but around the world. Then government has different measures to cope with them, to deal with them, and to help our people. I think that is the key. If we are not successful, if we can't attract investment, if there are no jobs, no new jobs created, and the jobs that we currently have are eventually hollowed out because we have not been competitive, then our workers will be unemployed or their salaries will be cut because they work shorter hours. Then they will be affected. But as you can see, in all these years, whenever we face a crisis, we always come up with a solution. Not that everybody will benefit equally, but most people will benefit from the program that we have. Just as you look at the 2008-2009 global financial crisis, we were like at the almost falling off the cliff in January 2009, and the expectation then was a recession of -10%. That is very serious, something that we have not had for a very long time here at all. Now, if that scenario had happened, I think people would have been hurt, their jobs would have been lost, employers would have to close many of the businesses. But because of the timely measures that the government put in place, the stimulus package, helping workers keep their jobs, helping employers keep them on their jobs through a job credit scheme, helping companies fight through cash flow issues with a bank financing through a risk sharing scheme. I think all these measures help to stabilize our people's psychology, help to stable them, and without people, some of them will have cut, in fact some have 20% pay cut, work shorter weeks. But before long, we are bounced back again by the end of 2009, and by 2010, we were actually galloping away with a 14.5%. No country has so successfully come out of a recession in such a way. Many countries in Europe today, whether it's even in America for that matter, or Japan or other countries, they are still in difficulty, and they still have big problems, and still have high unemployment. Today, our unemployment is about 2.2%. All Singaporeans can find a job if they want to, and we actually are trying to encourage our seniors, our retirees, our older ones, our women who are now staying at home to come out and work so that we can depend on foreign workers. And if we don't have foreign workers, it just means that the companies will have to move, or the employers cannot expand. Then the employees working in those companies will also have less opportunities for work. This is the real world we're facing. It's not a theoretical one. It's not something that we just say we want to first world this, first world that, and it can be done. No. You have to work hard at it. Today we have a first world government. Indeed, we have. Many countries want to learn and see how we govern and how we are able to make so much progress with so little resources. Whether it's a big country, small country, they want to learn from us. Of course, we can't teach them everything. Every country is different, and our social, political contexts are different. So we can only share what we have done, and let's see what we can pick up that will be relevant to them.
DPM is shared cost of living, long-term issues, how you meet them. When we walk the ground day to day, we are very concerned with our residents about the cost of living. We're watching that very closely. The growth and share package, households get from 3,000 to 4,000, together with the cash component plus the usage rebates plus the utility rebates. If you sort of divide that over the next year, it's about $250, $300 a month, which was some household spending can amount to as much as 40-50% of the household spending. So that's much more than the inflation rate expected. So that will tide them over the next year. We're also adding on to that our ComCare and where we can vouchers to help low-income families. We're watching that. If all prices continue to rise, you must expect inflation to worsen. But if the economy does well, I'm sure that the government, as DPM says, will be there again to see how we can give further help to residents, even on top of the growth and share package. But of course, this must be we have to grow economically first, then we can share more as we've done in the growth and share package. But inflation and cost of living is a concern that we share very much with residents for the next year, because there are many uncertainties on the horizon.
We understand all these problems. That's why the government is always looking out for problems that we can face and study measures and come up with programs, concrete ideas on how to get this thing done. We don't just sit on our hands. The grow and share package took time to work out. And look at the resilience package was better. If it's something very new, other countries studied this and say, oh, this is something worthwhile doing. But again, it depends on the resources they have. And fortunately for us, we have the resources to cope with all these eventually.
I would just like to add briefly that I think especially during election time, it is easier to tell people that there is a solution that is painless. It's easy to give them the idea that look, there are ways that we can resolve this without making adjustments to our lives. But ultimately, I think we have to be honest, we have to be responsible in putting forward ideas. It is not about winning an election only, it is about actually delivering on the goods that people expect us. And I think that the way we have chosen to do it is to lay out the cards in authority. We are a very small country. We buy most of the raw materials that we need for our manufacturing sector. We buy a lot of food from outside. We are a price taker. We are not in a position to influence those prices. We have to be honest with our people, tell them that that's the case. And we have to be honest in explaining the adjustments that we all have to make. And we also have to be honest in sharing with our people that the way to overcome these in the longer term is to make sure that as an economy we have higher levels of competitiveness compared to many other cities and countries who are trying hard to catch up with us and are catching up with us quite quickly. If we are not honest in presenting the challenges that we face in our country, if we allow people to believe that there are shortcuts, there are easy solutions, yes, we may be able to win votes in the short term, but is it really good for our people? Are we being responsible? And I think our record shows that we never shy away from telling people that there are tough things that we have to do. It may be unpopular, but it is what will eventually secure the future of their children, our children. It's not our future alone, it's also the future of our children. So yeah, some people may say that, oh, it sounds very hard, it sounds, a little bit hard for me to grasp. But it is honest. There's no running away. So, like DPM Wong and Dr. Eng Hen mentioned, we keep a very close watch on the cost of living issue. The residents know that if they have difficulties coping with their daily life, they can come to us and we will do everything within our means to help them overcome the shortcomings. In the meantime, we've also cracked our heads to ask ourselves, how can we help them to improve their situation, not just tomorrow, but next year, the year after? How can we help their children? How can we ensure that their children are not deprived of opportunities that will enable them to do just as well as anybody else has a chance to do in school? So, there are no shortcuts, and we always take the more difficult but honest approach to achieving better lives for us.
Okay. Thank you very much. Yes, you haven't asked a question.